Iraq Desert, 2007. Master Sergeant David Chen sat in the back of a destroyed Humvee watching his best friend bleed out. Medics said 20 minutes until evac. His friend had maybe 5. David held his hand, made him a promise. Take care of my family. Make sure my kids are okay. Tell them I love them. Then he was gone. David kept that promise, sent money to the family every month for 8 years, helped put both kids through college, never asked for anything back, just kept his word, because that's what honor means. 15 years later, David learned what honor really costs. David Chen lived under the Morrison Street Bridge in Portland. 62 years old, Vietnam vet, then Iraq. 2 wars, 30 years in the Army. Retired with full honors, had a house, a pension, a life. Then his wife got cancer. Stage 4. The treatments cost everything. Insurance denied half the claims. They lost the house, sold everything. She died anyway. David had nothing left. No family, no home, no reason to keep going. So he ended up here, under a bridge, sleeping in a tent, living on the streets for the past 3 years. Every morning, same routine. Wake up at dawn, pack his tent, walk to the library, use the bathroom, read newspapers until they close, then walk back to the bridge, sleep, repeat. He didn't beg, didn't ask for help, just survived, invisible. One Tuesday morning in September, David was walking through Chapman Square Park, shortcut to the library. He saw something on the ground, a wallet, brown leather, expensive looking. He picked it up, opened it. Inside, $2,000 in cash, credit cards, driver's license. The name read Marcus Webb. The photo showed a man, maybe 40, well-dressed, successful looking. David stared at that money, $2,000. That was 6 months of meals, a new tent, winter clothes, medicine for his bad knee, maybe even a cheap room somewhere. He could take it. Who would know? Marcus Webb probably had insurance, probably wouldn't even miss it. David held that wallet for 5 minutes, thinking, calculating, justifying. Then he heard a voice, his old drill sergeant from basic training. 40 years ago, honor isn't what you do when people are watching. It's what you do when no one's looking. David looked at the driver's license, saw an address, Northwest Portland, 15 miles away. He started walking. Took him 4 hours, his knees screaming with every step, but he kept going. Found the house. Big, beautiful. 3 stories, manicured lawn, the kind of place David used to own. He walked to the front door. Knocked. A woman answered. Young, maybe 30. Suspicious look on her face when she saw him. "Can I help you?" the woman asked, her hand on the door. "Ready to close it." "I found this," David said. He held out the wallet. "I think it belongs to someone here." Marcus Webb. The woman's eyes went wide. She grabbed the wallet, checked inside. "Oh my God, where did you find this?" "Chapman Square Park." "This morning." She stared at him. "You walked all the way here to return it?" "Yes, ma'am." "With all the cash still inside?" David nodded. The woman's voice cracked. "Wait here. Please. Don't leave." She disappeared inside. David stood on the porch, felt out of place, dirty, unwanted. He almost left. Then the woman came back with a man, Marcus Webb, the guy from the license. Tall, fit, expensive suit. He stared at David. "You found my wallet?" "Yes, sir." "And you brought it back?" "Yes, sir." Marcus opened the wallet, counted the money, all there. $2,000. "You didn't take any of it?" "No, sir." "Why not?" David didn't know how to answer that. "Just seemed like the right thing to do," he finally said. Marcus stared at him, really looked at him, the worn jacket, the hole in his shoe, the dirt under his fingernails. "Where do you live?" Marcus asked. "Under the Morrison Street Bridge." "You're homeless?" "Yes, sir." "And you walked 15 miles to return $2,000? David nodded. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. "Come inside, please." "I don't want to intrude." "You're not intruding," Marcus said. "Please." Come in. They sat in Marcus's living room. Expensive furniture, family photos on the walls, a life David used to have. The woman brought coffee, introduced herself as Marcus's wife, Jennifer. Thank you, David said, taking the cup, his hands shaking. He couldn't remember the last time someone served him coffee like he was a guest, like he mattered. Marcus sat across from him. Tell me about yourself. Not much to tell, David said. I'm just a guy who found your wallet. No, Marcus said. You're not just anything. You walked 15 miles on a bad knee to return money you desperately needed. That's not just. That's extraordinary. Tell me your story. So David told him. The army, the wars, his wife, the cancer, losing everything, the streets. Marcus listened, didn't interrupt, didn't judge, just listened. When David finished, Marcus was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. My father was a veteran, Marcus said. Vietnam. He came home broken, PTSD, alcoholism, lost everything, ended up on the streets. Just like you. We tried to help. He wouldn't let us. Said he didn't deserve it. 10 years ago, he died alone under a bridge in Seattle. We found out 2 weeks later. His voice broke. I never got to save him. Never got to bring him home. David's throat tightened. I'm sorry. Marcus wiped his eyes. When Jennifer called me at work today, told me a homeless veteran returned my wallet, I thought I was hearing things. I lost that wallet 3 days ago. Had been to 5 different places. Could have been anywhere. I figured it was gone forever, but you found it. And instead of taking the money, instead of improving your own life, you spent 4 hours walking to return it to a stranger. David shrugged. Just seemed right. Marcus leaned forward. David, I want to ask you something, and I want you to really think about your answer. Okay. Will you let me help you? David shook his head. I don't need charity. It's not charity, Marcus said. It's gratitude. It's paying back what you gave me. You gave me my faith in humanity. Let me give you a chance at a new life. I can't, David said. Yes, you can, Jennifer said. She sat down next to Marcus. Please, let us help. We have the resources. We have the ability. And after what you did, we have the desire. David felt tears coming, tried to stop them, couldn't. I've been on the streets for 3 years, he said. Nobody sees me anymore. I'm invisible. I walk past hundreds of people every day, and not one of them looks at me. Not one. But you saw my wallet, Marcus said. You saw my name, my address. You saw me even though we'd never met. Now let me see you. 1 week later, David stood in a small apartment, 1 bedroom, clean, furnished, a key in his hand. This is yours, Marcus said. Rent paid for 1 year. After that, we'll figure it out together. David couldn't speak. There's more, Jennifer said. She handed him papers. We got you enrolled in the VA housing program. They're going to help with medical care, mental health support, job training if you want it. And there's this, Marcus said. He handed David an envelope. Inside, a check, $10,000. I can't take this, David said. You already did, Marcus said. When you spent 4 hours walking to help a stranger, you earned every penny of this. Use it to rebuild. Use it to live. Use it however you want. But take it, David broke down, sobbed. Marcus and Jennifer held him. Let him cry. You gave me hope, Marcus said, when I thought the world was full of selfish people who only cared about themselves. You proved me wrong. You showed me that honor still exists, that good people are still out there. That's worth more than $2,000. That's priceless. 6 months later, David sat in a VA counselor's office. Clean-shaven, new clothes, healthy. He'd gained 20 pounds, started therapy for PTSD, joined a support group for homeless veterans, got a part-time job at a hardware store. His life was coming back. The counselor smiled. You're doing remarkable, David. How do you feel? Alive, David said. For the first time in years, I feel alive. What changed? Someone saw me, David said. Really saw me. Treated me like I mattered. And that made all the difference. The counselor nodded. You know, we had another veteran come in yesterday. Similar situation to yours. Homeless. lost everything, no hope. But he heard your story, how you returned that wallet, how Marcus helped you. And he said if you could make it back, maybe he could too. He's in housing now, starting treatment. You inspired him. David's eyes filled with tears. I just returned a wallet. You did more than that, the counselor said. You showed people that integrity matters, that doing the right thing matters, even when you have nothing, especially then. That message is spreading. We've had 12 more veterans come in since your story got out. All of them said the same thing. If that guy could stay honorable when he was homeless and desperate, I can too. You're saving lives without even knowing it. 1 year after returning the wallet, David stood in front of a group of 50 people. Veterans, homeless, struggling. Marcus had organized it, a fundraiser for the VA housing program. David was the guest speaker. He was terrified. I'm not good at speeches, David said, his voice shaking. I'm just a guy who made a choice. But I want to tell you why I made it. He told them about his friend who died in Iraq, about the promise he made, about honor, about choosing to do right even when it costs you everything. A year ago, I had $2,000 in my hand, David said. Money I desperately needed. I could have kept it, probably should have, but I thought about my friend, about the promise I made him, about what honor really means. And I realized honor isn't about medals or recognition. It's about doing the right thing when no one's watching, when it's hard, when it costs you. That's real honor. The room was silent. I returned that wallet because it was the right thing to do, David continued. I didn't expect anything in return, but what I got back was my life, my dignity, my hope. Marcus didn't just give me money or an apartment. He gave me my humanity back. He saw me when I was invisible, and that changed everything. He looked at the crowd. If you're struggling right now, if you're on the streets, if you've lost everything, I want you to know something. You still have your honor. You still have your integrity. You still have the ability to choose right over wrong. And when you make that choice, when you do the right thing, even when it's hard, the universe notices. People notice, and help comes. Maybe not immediately, maybe not how you expect, but it comes. The room erupted in applause. People stood, some crying, some nodding, all of them feeling something they hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. 1 day later, that veteran was in housing, starting therapy, beginning to heal. David watched him walk out with hope in his eyes, and he thought about that wallet, about the choice he made 3 years ago, about walking 15 miles on a bad knee to return money to a stranger. That one choice had saved over 300 lives, had created an entire organization, had given him purpose again, all because he chose honor over survival. Here's the truth David learned. Integrity costs. Sometimes it costs everything you have, but it pays back more than you can imagine. When you do the right thing, especially when it's hard, you plant seeds you'll never see grow. David planted a seed when he returned that wallet. It grew into an organization that saved hundreds, into hope for veterans who thought hope was gone, into a movement that proved honor still matters. Your choices ripple forward. That moment of integrity. That decision to do right when wrong is easier. That choice to help when you could walk away. You have no idea what you're creating, so choose honor, even when it costs, especially then. Here's my question for you. What wallet are you holding right now? What choice are you facing between right and easy? What person needs you to choose integrity over convenience? Make the hard choice. Walk the 15 miles. Return what isn't yours. Do right when no one's watching, because someone is always watching, and your choice might save more lives than you'll ever know. If this story moved you, leave a comment about a time you chose honor over ease. Subscribe if you believe in homeless veterans and ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Share this story because someone needs to hear that integrity matters, that doing right pays back. We choose honor. That's what heroes do. Now go be someone's David. Go return the wallet